Every year at the beginning of the biathlon season, I make some predictions as to who I think is going to be the overall Crystal Globe winner, as well as the Small Globe winners. So today we're going to review my predictions and see how I did. Now, if any of these predictions are correct, you got to hit me up with a like and subscribe, because where else are you going to get this level of biathlon insight months in advance? How's it going, biathlon fans? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Halligan. This is my YouTube channel about biathlon. Let's go. My first prediction is for the individual globe, and for that, I'm gonna go with Sturla Holm Ligrid from Norway for the men and Vanessa Voigt from Germany for the women. All right, so Sturla, honestly, I thought this was gonna be a really good pick because he's a really strong shooter, good skier, consistent. But he came in 8th overall in the individual ranking, and he didn't even race the last individual because of COVID, and that probably had a lot to do with it. So he was doing pretty well before he had to miss that one race, and when you only have 3 races out of the season and you miss one of them, it's really hard to win. Even if he won both races, he would not have won the overall. So I want to give this one a neutral pick because it's something that's completely out of his control. However, when you look at Sturla's scores in the last couple of years, 8th in the individual rank, that's the worst rank he's had in any globe, including the overall globe, in the last 3 years. So really ever since he's been on the World Cup consistently. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this one a thumbs down. Even though it was stuff that was completely out of his control and stuff that we could not have predicted, Sturla just was nowhere close to winning the overall in this one. And then again, Vanessa Voigt, 8th overall. So again, it's someone who did race all 3 races, but just didn't have that great of a performance. Okay, well, it was one of her better fights for the globe. She tied with her mass start score for, 8th overall. And honestly, she didn't shoot too bad. 95, 90, and 95%. But 11, 19, and 6. I really thought she was going to do better than that this year. Now for my Sprint Globe winners, I'm going to go with Johannes Tingus Bø from Norway and Elvira Øyberg from Sweden. So the Sprint Globe was pretty easy. I mean, Johannes Tingus Bø, just like how I got unlucky in the last one with Ligrid getting COVID, I got super lucky with this one with Johannes Tingus Bø literally winning every single sprint race. So that one was super easy. I saw that one coming a mile away for sure. But then on the women's side, we got Elvira Øyberg, another one who was doing very well, ranked, I think, 2nd. But then she just had some trouble when she also got COVID, and she just could not make that comeback. Let's see where she ended up. Yeah, she was almost in 1st place and fighting for that Sprint Globe. And then after she got COVID, she just never really came back with a strong showing. So unfortunately, just a little bit unlucky on my part. I still think it's a good pick. She just didn't really bounce back from COVID like we expected. So it would be really cool to see next year if she can get a full season in of racing, all the sprint races, no time off, no illness. I really think she's going to be fighting for a globe next year. All right, time for the Pursuit Globe winner. I'm going to go with Quentin Fillon-Maillet from France and Marta Olsbu-Røisland from Norway. All right, the Pursuit Globe, I went with Fillon-Maillet, and honestly, I'm surprised seeing here that he came in 3rd in this event because I was not impressed with Fillon-Maillet's season this year. Maybe it's because last year he had such a good season that I'm comparing this year to last year, but I just wasn't impressed with his season as a whole. I really thought he was going to be a guy who would come alive in these head-to-head races, fight for the win, but obviously it's so hard to beat Johannes Tingus Bø. We don't need to say more about him and his season this year. But honestly, with Fillon-Maillet coming in 3rd overall this year, after also missing a race, I'm not sure what that was all about, but even with missing one of the races, he still comes in 3rd overall for the Pursuit. Not a bad pick, in my opinion. For the women, on the other hand, I don't know what I was thinking. Why was I picking Marta Olsbu-Røisland? I knew that she wasn't going to be here for half the season. She announced that before the season, and even with her not being there for literally half the season, she came in 11th overall. So that just goes to show you, winning the last Pursuit of the season in Novo Mesto, just goes to show you how strong she is. It would have been awesome to see if she could have raced the full season, because if she could have doubled her points, she probably would have been fighting for that overall. But I don't know what I was thinking by picking Olsbu-Røisland for the overall win. I literally knew before the season that she wasn't going to be racing half the season. So that was just a bad pick on my part. Next, we have the Mass Start Globe. The Mass Start Globe can be crazy. Last year, we had Sivert Bakken from Norway come out of nowhere and win the Globe. So for the Mass Start Globe, I'm going to go with Marta Olsbu-Røisland and Vetle Christiansen from Norway. Oh my gosh. Again, why am I picking Røisland? I knew that she wasn't going to be there. And I made this video after she announced that she's not coming. But even with, she missed 2 of the 4 races, she comes in 9th overall. That's a pretty good season, honestly, for her. And let's say she was able to do this twice and she was able to score twice as many points. That would have been 250 points. She would have been fighting Simone for the overall. So honestly, it's not a bad pick, but I'm just picking people who are literally announcing they're not going to be racing. So I'm just being stupid. And then finally, good pick, the only person to dethrone Johannes Tingus Bö this year in any of the Globes, Vetle Christensen, totally called it. You got to hit that like and subscribe button now because come on, let's go. I'm earning it. I'm making all the best picks here. I'm the only one who called it. Everyone thought Johannes Bö was going to sweep all the medals. No way. I called it back in November. Vetle Christensen was going to win the Mass Start Globe, and there it is. So come on, that's worth at least a like and subscribe. All right, now it's time for my overall winner. And for the men, I'm going to go with Johannes Tingus Bö. Then Johannes Tingus Bö, this graph says it all, just an absolute dominant season. All right, that's all we have to say about that. We spent way too much time talking about this guy. For the women's side, my overall winner is going to be Hanna Öberg from Sweden. Oh man, Hanna Öberg, that was a risky pick because there's so many women in this field who I think could have done well. I don't really think anyone had Julia Simone coming in for the win here, but props to her. She had a great season, ends up winning the overall. But Hanna Öberg just started off really slow, kind of picked it up a little bit towards the end of the season, obviously winning the last race of the season. Well, actually, she won the first race and she won the last race. So after the first race of the season, I was feeling really good about this pick. But yeah, just kind of died off in the middle there. Had some races in the middle where she didn't race due to illness. So I really thought she was going to be the one with not only the ability, like obviously there's so many athletes that have the ability, but I thought she was going to be the one that had that little bit of experience to push her over the edge. Now I'm trying to find out where did they all go wrong for her because I don't think she had too bad a season. Her shooting was way up this year compared to last year, so maybe her skiing went down. And honestly, her ski speed was not that bad. It just, it was pretty good, pretty consistent to last year. So if anything, she should have had a better season this year than she did last year. Let's see. I guess she did miss 2 races this year, but she missed 2 races last year. She came in 4th overall for the last couple of years. And so this was her worst season in 5 years, unfortunately. So that's just too bad. I still believe in Hanna Öberg. I think she and Elvira are going to come back next year and give Julia Simone a run for her money. Don't forget we have Justine Breza coming back next year as well. So yeah, next year's fight is going to be just as good. Even with all the retirements on the women's side, there's so many good young athletes coming through. So yeah. All right, how did your predictions do? I don't think really anyone had Julia Simone winning the overall, but if you did, comment down below. Don't cheat. I really want to know. Did you see her coming to win the overall? Was there someone else who you thought was going to have an awesome season just completely flopped? Let's get the conversation going. But until next time, we'll see ya.